All right, at long last, it's been several years of hunting, searching, and leaving the altar heartbroken. But I finally acquired my grand piece of memorabilia. I've been searching for it for years, but at long last, after years of searching, I finally gotten my hands on the Flying Bee Ravens hat, their first ever logo in 1996 that they wore for 2 years until they got caught because they stole it from somebody. So they had to give up the trademark to somebody else. So they can't use this logo. I finally found some retro store in Maryland that has this hat. This cost me 80. This cost didn't cost me. It was $80
That
for a
was
birthday
eighty
present.
dollars.
It was $80, but it's a thing of beauty. The flying bee with the wings. Vinny
It's a cool
Testaverde
logo.
Vinny Testaverde is a Pro Bowler in this logo. Don't you forget, Pro Bowl quarterback Vinny Testaverde. All right, make
I
sure you show
didn't.
some.
I,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know he
What's
was
up?
on the Ravens.
What do you know about? He was our first ever quarterback. What do you know about Vinny Testaverde? Beat the Raiders in his debut and ran for a touchdown. Um,
Wow, good for him.
but yeah, but aside from that, actually, funny story about the Ravens logo. This logo in Madden 26 for years, the Ravens 90s throwbacks have been in Madden,
Oh yeah,
but
I know
it just
this.
has
Yeah,
yeah, it just has the bird.
yeah.
At the start of
But
Madden
then this
26,
year, yeah.
it had the logo, and I was excited. I thought there was all this stuff coming out because
Huh.
this year or this past year was the Ravens' 30th anniversary. It had me thinking the stuff was going to come back. I checked it a month later; they got rid of it. And
Yeah.
they fixed it. They
It was
changed it back to the
probably
bird. It was probably an
it
accident.
was probably a copyright. Yeah, it was probably a
Probably got some
copyright
calls.
thing.
But this episode's kind of just going to be us yapping about things we feel like talking about because honestly, it is a dead time in the sports world. The basketball and hockey regular seasons are winding down. Opening day is on the way. We thought about doing ranking every team, or at least I thought about doing the whole ranking every team, but I figured we could save that for like when we're a month and a half in and we can have a gauge on what the teams are like. But
Yeah.
obviously, baseball season is on the way. But I do want to talk a little bit of baseball first and talk about the World Baseball Classic because I'm sure, as you all saw, the United States fell in the WBC championship to Venezuela in a 3-2 loss. And I do want to talk about this for a minute because there has always been a discussion about how much the USA cares about this tournament. Like in 2023, there was all this talk of how it's just an exhibition or doesn't mean anything. And then when Edwin Diaz got hurt while playing for Puerto Rico, that got everyone riled up even more, especially New York Mets fans who were irate at the idea that their superstar closer was out for the season because he got hurt in the World Baseball Classic. And I didn't like to buy into it. But this year, I really did get the feeling that for Team USA, it doesn't mean as much. Maybe I'm sure they care. I'm sure Aaron Judge is disappointed that they lost, and Paul Skeens and Bryce Harper. I'm sure they're disappointed that they lost, but it really felt like it meant more to Venezuela. And I don't want to say it shows in the stats, but you look at the stats. These at bats, that was one of the worst offensive performances I've ever seen. And this is a team that features. Let me rifle through the lineup. Bobby Witt, he'll be a Hall of Famer. Bryce Harper, he'll be a Hall of Famer. Judge, one of the best hitters of all time. Schwarber has an outside chance of 500 home runs. Bregman, Gunnar, Roman Anthony, Will Smith, Bryce Terang, Buxton, and Pico Armstrong. That is a who's who of stars in your lineup. And they had 3 hits. And it's not like the DR.
Crazy.
It's not like the DR where against the USA where they had a lot of runners in scoring position, bases loaded, you can't bring them home. Bryce Harper had 2 of USA's 3 hits, including that massive 2-run home run in the 8th inning to tie the game. The rest of the team combined had 1 hit. And I know you're a Yankees fan, and people love to make fun of Aaron Judge for being like the playoff choker. I don't really like to make those jokes as much as everyone else, but the at bats weren't even competitive. He had a swinging strike three where he hacked at a pitch that was in the dirt. No joke. And then the next at bat, he would not move that bat from his shoulder and then took a strike three at the knees. Like,
Yeah. I
sometimes I
think he
keep
gets
thinking,
nervous.
sometimes I wonder, maybe it's just bad luck. You're hot and you're cold. Maybe it just keeps getting cold in October and it's just a coincidence. I mean, at some point, at some point, it's got to be.
It's funny. It's
It's
funny
got to
because he
be it.
played really well last year in like
Yeah,
this previous postseason, but this Yankees team was not that good.
I just remember they lost to Toronto.
Okay.
I just remember they lost to Toronto, and people were
Yeah.
going on their podcasts, going, it's the Blue Jays and the Brewers. They win because they put the ball in play and they get on the base, and the Yankees are home run or nothing. I'm like, guys, Toronto bludgeoned them to death twice with home runs. The Yankees lost because,
Yeah.
and you would agree to this. Stanton gave them almost nothing. Wells gave them nothing. Grisham gave them nothing. Volpe gave them nothing. Like that's why they
Yeah.
lost. And then the Blue Jays had their 7, 8, and 9 hitters hitting 400. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on the WBC because it is interesting. It'll be back in I think 2030, and it's a ton of fun. I do wonder how much it really means to Team USA because Venezuela was losing it. Like that was the I think for a lot of them, for Venezuela, maybe all of them, that meant more than winning a World Series. And that team has players on it who have won championships. Obviously, Acuna is the captain.
Yeah.
Suarez was in Game 7 of the championship series. Like, Salvador Perez has won a title. Like, they have prestige. And I wonder how much that means to Team USA. But I do want to pivot,
Yeah.
unless you want to
Yeah. I
get a
don't
piece
know.
off.
No, I
This
didn't
is
watch it, if I'm being honest. I don't
wow.
have a lot of interest in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of interest in like the non professional leagues. Like I know it's major league players doing it, but I don't know. To me, it's just like, like I wasn't into what was that hockey thing last year
Four
with
Nations.
like all the different.
That was fire.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Like I didn't care about. Like I just, I'm not saying that it's not entertaining. I just don't tune into it. So it's
well,
like that's,
I,
yeah, it's just me.
I'm disappointed you didn't get to watch Aaron Judge have the worst at bats of all time because that was sad. I was watching it.
I'm used to it.
I was watching that and I was like, is this what it's like to root for Aaron Judge, like to have him on your team? Because I hate the Yankees. I don't really hate Aaron Judge, but I hate
Yeah,
the Yankees. I'm like, is this what it's like? 2 for 11 in
yeah,
tournament
he's
play.
just liability in October.
2 for 11 in tournament play. Ain't that a shame? But now we will pivot to March Madness, and I kind of want to have a little discussion about the tournament and college basketball as a whole, starting with my bracket because I am not. I promise you, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Actually, I might not be able to pull this up. No. You might have to take my word for it here, or if I could pull up the source. I'm not kidding. I made a handful of brackets. I was 21 for 21. There was a point in time in the universe where there were 4,000 perfect brackets left, and your boy had one of them. Otega Owe hit
Wow.
that three to tie it against Santa Clara and won it overtime. I'm like, it's destiny. It's destiny for me. It's meant to be. If I can pull it up here, because I got High Point beating Wisconsin. I got VCU beating the Tar Heels. Let's see here. TCU beating Ohio State, which isn't that big of an upset. Um, the other big one was VCU because I watched that game. VCU was down 19 and they rallied back. They won a 12-0 run, and then they hit this step back jumper to win it in overtime. And of course, I was bound to get it wrong eventually. Weirdly enough, the one game that got me was actually a Hofstra. I picked Hofstra to beat Alabama, a 13 to beat a 4,
Really?
and they lost by 20. So my
Oh,
the picture I have is that I was 20-0, but the
yeah.
Iowa State game finished before the Hofstra did. So technically, I was 21-0 for a couple of minutes until I finally got one wrong. But that kind of leads me into talking about the state of college basketball as a whole because college sports, I mean, I'm not going to go into some 30-minute diatribe about NIL. I don't think it's really necessary, but you look at the Sweet 16, and these are the seeds of the Sweet 16 teams: 1-5-3-2, 9-4-3-2, 1-4-11-2, 1-4-6-2. It's very chalky. The big underdog is an 11 seed in the Sweet 16, and it's Texas. I mean, not
Yeah.
really. Of course, Iowa beating Florida was a massive upset, but I do wonder if Cinderellas are maybe not a thing of the past, but much more of a rarity than they used to be. Because it wasn't too long ago when we had a tournament where a 15 seed made the Sweet 16 and a 16 beat a 1 in the same tournament. I'm not expecting that every year, but this is the second year in a row where basically there's no like real Cinderellas, and pushing the envelope too early. But it does feel like with the again NIL is a whole other conversation that could go on forever. But with how much
Yeah.
monetization has played into college football, I do wonder how much. I do wonder how much with lower players that might be like diamonds in the rough, in Weber State or whatever, are just going to go to a bigger program for money. And I wonder if
Yeah.
Cinderellas are going to be a thing of the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say with with the whole transfer portal thing, these good players want to play for good schools, schools that are known for their basketball. So it's like, if you have a good season at like, I don't know, who was a 16 this year? Like just to throw someone out.
Sienna, who was actually
Yeah.
who was up on Duke at the half
Yeah.
and like
Well, let's say
flirted
you're
with
like
it.
the best player. Yeah, let's say you're a freshman or a sophomore, you're the best player on Siena, and then like the Gators call and they're like, "Hey, you just transfer."
I think that coach is gone
You're
already.
of course
I want to say that coach is gone already.
the Siena.
Yes, because they were. I think they were
Really?
up double. They were up double digits on Duke. It
It's
might be another
Duke though.
school. It might be another school. I think they're the first ever 16 seed to have a double digit lead over the one at the half. That might be someone
Really?
else. That might be someone else. It wasn't Florida. It might have been Duke. Duke only won by 6. Like that was
Yeah.
they flirted with it. I don't think it was Arizona. No, I'm pretty sure it was Duke. They were down double digits at the half, or at least they were down at one point. If I can find like I don't know if the ESPN will give me a. I don't know. ESPN will pull it up, but I mean Duke was 5 of 26 from three, atrocious. Siena was 9 of 26, and but Duke got 21 free throws and Siena got 6 because obviously better
Yeah.
schools are going to draw more free throws. Hold on, Siena basketball coach. It's McNamara, right? Yeah, Gary McNamara, he's at Syracuse already. Like he already left. So I don't know. Like what's going to happen if in 5 years you still haven't had a 13 seed or a 14 seed? Like nothing massive. Because I mean, not just a decade or so ago, you had VCU making the Final Four, George Mason making the Final Four. You had Loyola Chicago making the Final Four recently. You had St. Peter's as a 15 making the Elite Eight. I don't know. I could go on and complain about how much I can't stand the lengths to which NIL has gone when it comes to college sports. But
Hmm.
like, I'm not
Yeah, I
against.
agree.
Let me put it this way: am I against a college athlete being able to sign a shoe deal? Of course not. I'm not against a college athlete being able to do a commercial. Jack Golke did his thing with Oakland when they knocked off Kentucky a couple years ago, and Golke did a bunch of ads. He was in a bunch of commercials. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
cash in under 15 minutes. I am against schools being able to write checks to like sign players. I think I'm not blaming a player for taking that money. Obviously, if you're a up and coming college athlete who didn't have a lot of money growing up, and here comes Ohio State writing you a $3 million check to play linebacker. Of course, you're going to take it, but the monetization of college sports has rubbed me the wrong way, and I think the tournament
Yeah.
might actually be the biggest hit.
I don't. To me, it's kind of a slippery slope because these colleges pull in so much money from their teams. Like these big schools make so much money, and it's like um, programs, organizations. Uh, so yeah,
Which is
I don't think
what's
there's much we could do. I
and
think
that's
now
the
that we've gone there, now that it's a thing, there's no going back.
oh yeah, it's
So
it's like
yeah, there's
AI.
no going back.
It's like AI. It's
Yeah,
here. Just even though as much as I can't stand it, it's here, and it's not just gonna disappear. Which and
yeah,
the top heaviness is easily the worst thing about the women's tournament because I actually think I actually think just now there was a big upset in the women's tournament.
I like it.
A 10 beat a 2
Oh
where
really?
yeah I think Virginia beat Purdue. I might be wrong.
Huh?
I might have my teams wrong, but
It
Tennessee did
doesn't.
too.
It doesn't really. It
They
doesn't really
became.
matter anyways because the
Yeah,
girls are just gonna win. The
yeah.
UConn's just gonna win it.
It
So
feels
it's
like every
fine.
final. It feels like every Final Four is 1-1-1-2 or 1-1-2-3 or 1-1-1-3. So and if
It is. Yeah.
which I mean, that's not obvious. It's not any of the players' fault. It's not UConn's fault if they win all the time, or South Carolina or LSU. My Hokies made the Final Four a couple years ago with the women's team. That was sick. We lost to Angel Reese and LSU, but it was cool to be in the Final Four. But it would really suck if the men's tournament kind of went down the same
Turned
road and
into that.
became chalk. That
Yeah.
would suck. Because the best part is watching,
Underdogs.
15 seeded Princeton in the Sweet 16, or 15
Yeah.
seeded St. Peter's in the Elite Eight. I mean, blew everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Because the real allure of March Madness is everyone has a chance. Like, even though the champion is almost always one of the top dogs, there's almost never like a real underdog champion. I mean, what was another 16 seed? Long Island can dream. Siena can dream. Who else? Furman can dream. What if we get hot?
You
But
UConn.
yeah,
UConn could. I dream.
they did win as a 7 seed once with Kemba. I think they had Kemba Walker.
Yeah,
But
that was 2014.
that's the other thing
Yeah.
that bugs me. Whenever it feels like half the time a low seed goes super far, it's a big school anyway. I remember Kentucky made the Final Four as an 8 seed, and they're like, "Well, Cinderella run." I'm like, "You're
Yeah.
Kentucky. Like, you're Kentucky. You're not really an underdog." And then the one year
We got
was
a fairly we got a fairly low seed. Well, like low seed for UConn standards during the 2022 win. We were like a 4
You're thinking of 2023.
and yeah, same year, same thing.
And that's what I was going to talk
Yeah,
about.
we
That
got
was the ultimate Cinderella year,
yeah,
where
2023.
the highest Final Four team was a 4 seed, and it looked like we were guaranteed a Cinderella champion, and it was UConn. Like, I know you're happy about it, but we were like San Diego State, Florida Atlantic, the Hurricanes. Oh, UConn. Never forget it. Freaking UConn.
Campus was insane. It was like, yeah, I just like went home. I was like, this is insane. Like there were kids ripping down. There were kids ripping down lampposts and using them as battering rams to get into the academic buildings. And we also had all these stupid little like UConn transportation, call UConn transports, these like little cars that like you could call, no one ever uses them, but you could theoretically call them and they could get you from class to class, but it's like just a nuisance to everybody else because they'll like drive through like side streets that are just basically sidewalks. And it was flipped over with the lamppost through the back windshield and the front one. It was flipped upside down with the lamppost through it. It was crazy.
That's one of the most college stories I've ever heard.
It was so stupid. I was there for like 10 minutes. I was like, there were like 30 people that got expelled, and rightfully so. Like it was so and a bunch of them were seniors. If my kid got expelled
as a senior,
like 3 weeks before graduation, I'd murder them. I'd kill them. Like yeah. The second
have fun explaining that to HR. Why didn't you graduate? Why didn't you finish school? Well, UConn.
Well, I drove a lamppost through a car and flipped
UConn won the Natty. Hey, University of Tennessee student, why did you drop out of school? Why did you not finish school? You were a month away from graduation. Well, you see, we beat Alabama, so we ripped off the goalpost and threw it into a river. So I got expelled. I don't know if anyone got expelled doing that, but they beat Alabama on like a last-second field goal. They ripped the goalpost and like carried it to a river and threw it in the river. And that was, I mean, they ripped the goalpost off and carried, like a bunch of people carried this like a casket, carried it to the river.
Yeah.
That's the most college story I've ever heard. But enough of college. Yeah. On to the pros. So the last episode we talked about the Max Crosby on and off trade that resulted in him staying a Raider, and part of me wishes that we slept on it, because I think I could have articulated my words better on how I felt about the whole thing and the tinfoil hat theories and all X, Y, and Z when it comes to that trade. But predictably, I woke up the next morning and the Ravens had signed Trey Hendrickson. So that's the second week in a row that we recorded something, and then something big happened like hours after
Yeah.
we made it. Not as massive. If we recorded, or no, because we recorded that episode before the Crosby trade and I scrapped it. It didn't feel, it felt like a dead media, I guess is the best way to put it. So then Hendrickson becomes a Raven and all the conspiracy theories ramp in because this is what's dumb about it. I'm not going to go too crazy over it because I'm kind of over the whole discussion. I think I hope people who are smart realize that simply the Ravens wanted both players and thought they might have gotten both players, but were kind of iffy on Hendrickson's pay. But when the Crosby trade fell through, because 5 independent doctors, let me say that again, 5 independent doctors all red flagged Crosby's knee that backed out and went up the pay for Hendrickson so they can get somebody. Because if they just didn't sign Hendrickson and just basically ran it back, we'd be screwed. I mean, you could write the season off already. But acquiring a marquee pass rusher, it is an if healthy thing, but because people like to talk about the run defense because Max Crosby is the best run defending edge in football. Trey Hendrickson doesn't really impact the run that much. Let me put it this way. If the Ravens have Matabike and Travis Jones clogging the middle, I honestly think it's fine. If Matabike doesn't come back because of his neck, then I'm mortified and I'd have to look back who we played, but someone might run for 200 on
Yeah.
us. So
He's awesome. Like Trey's awesome, but the Raven. He's not going to solve all the Ravens' problems. You know.
well, pass rushing he might solve our problems if he's it's the if healthy thing
Yeah.
because he had his season cut short because of injury. I
Yeah.
think it was his
I
hip.
feel
I think he had
there.
hip surgery.
I feel like their pass defense could still struggle.
The
Yeah.
secondary is very bad. I don't know how much of that was
Rough.
because of coaching. Maybe some of it was coaching, but the fact of the matter is their secondary was really bad. And Humphrey's getting old. I got the jersey shout out. He had 7 great
I was gonna
years.
say.
He had 7 fantastic years as a Raven. I'll always respect him, but dude, I think it's time. It's
Yeah, he's toast.
it might be time to take him out back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Nate Wiggins can
He
improve,
would
but
come out back.
it's
It's about
difficult.
a dream, George. Just look over that way.
Look at the flowers. Like, oh my god. Oh man. I say that like he's the worst player in the league. He's not the
Uh,
worst player in the league, but he got burned over the top by Adam Thielen. Like
I wouldn't be
the
surprised.
writing is on the wall.
I wouldn't be surprised if he could bounce back and be. He probably won't be like all pro again, but he could be a good corner again. Like
Maybe
good enough.
maybe Jesse Minter will unlock something. Maybe Jesse Minter is just the goat, and I'm
We'll
underestimating
see.
him.
Yeah.
But I do think the defense can be salvageable if it's a Hendrickson, Matabike, Travis Jones defensive front. All of those guys healthy. The latter two can clog the middle. Hendrickson can sack the quarterback, which will open up opportunities for everyone else. Maybe that'll give Mike Green some better looks. I'm excited about the acquisition. For the record, I would still prefer Crosby. I still prefer having a theoretically healthy Crosby than Hendrickson plus the draft picks because of what Crosby does against the pass and the run. Like if it were up to me, in a perfect world, Crosby's healthy and the trade goes through and Hendrickson goes to somewhere else. I think I read that he'd go to the Colts. The Colts were the favorites until the trade fell through. So we called Hendrickson and said, "What do you want? We'll do it." So
That's an interesting take because I feel like at this point, the Raven they lost so many free agents. I think those two draft picks are gonna go a long way.
I
And
don't
Trey,
think
it's not like this is still a first. Trey is still a first team All Pro pass rusher.
it's just the
It's
question
just,
of
but
the
I
rest
get
of the
what
line.
I get what you mean that you value the run defense that Crosby provides over the pure pass rushing that Trey provides. But to me, it's like you still get that All Pro defensive end, and you could address this year the interior O line, and then maybe next year fill in something else. If you need a corner, you get a corner. If you need an outside linebacker, again, you know what I mean. I think that that it was. I think the draft picks are going to go a long way.
I guess let me put it this way. Save for maybe the Cowboys, I don't think any team in the league needs a high impact rookie more than the Ravens do. Let me put it to you that way. I think the number one answer for a high impact rookie is the Cowboys, but I think the Ravens are second to where you need your first round pick to make a
Yeah,
serious impact right away. Kyle Hamilton is amazing. He wasn't that high impact as a rookie. He needed like a season to kind of get his feet wet. So
yeah,
if they get if they get that guard out of Penn State and he's a superstar, cool. If they get a
yeah.
receiver,
I like how we've talked about this guy for like 3 weeks in a row, but we just don't try to pronounce his name. We just say the
I'll
guard out of Penn State.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I figured out Tagovailoa. Everyone acted like they couldn't pronounce it. I'm like, guys, it's Tua Tagovailoa. It's not difficult. Or it might be Tagovailoa.
I
What?
always I
Whatever.
always butcher his last name because it's like the A's and the U's are like it's like I don't know unless I'm reading it.
You're teetering the line.
I always mess it up.
Yeah, but anyway,
He's a,
enough of
we're gonna have the battle of the lefties down in Atlanta.
Oh my
Penix and
god.
that's
I
ridiculous.
I was laughing a lot when they signed Tua, but then it was like 1 year, 3 million. I was like, who cares?
It's a vet man. Yeah, it's
Who
a vet
cares?
minimum.
If Tua sucks,
Yeah.
the loser is Miami. Who? What's their dead money? Like 99 million.
It was. I thought it was like 165.
That's the
I
whole
thought it
team.
was like absurd.
That's everybody,
Oh,
not
from
just Tua.
just Tua.
I think
Yeah,
just
but
Tua. It's
Tua
like
was a majority of that. Yeah.
they're the losers. They're the losers for paying
I
him
like
when
how
you
they.
knew he wasn't that good.
I think it's
Like
ridiculous that they pay Willis to come in and then just trade Waddle for like a not that good draft pick.
poor,
Like,
poor Willis. He was out of Tennessee. I know. I just released that video on the Titans. I'm proud of it. I think it's a good video. Go watch it after this, of course. But I felt bad for Willis because they drafted him. They traded AJ Brown away. Then they drafted him and had him play with one of the worst rosters in the league. And then he goes to Green Bay, something of a roster there, and he's not half bad. So he signs in Miami, and he's like, I can hand it to A-Chan. I can throw it to Waddle. Waddle's gone. Sorry.
well,
And we have no one to block for you because contrary to what I said in that short on the mock draft, Teron Armstead's retired, and he's been retired,
yeah,
which threw me off. Shows how much we know. But the problem is
yeah. That's
teams keep paying. I don't get why teams keep falling for it. Teams pay B or worse quarterbacks A+ money. Everyone knew when Tua got that contract that he wasn't worth it. And it's not like baseball
yeah,
where you can just hand out a contract and people always say, this guy's making $180 million. There's no salary cap. Womp womp. Like, you give Tua
yeah.
the max contract, an NFL quarterback, that's a big chunk of your salary. And the
It's
Jaguars,
you know what
I
it
mean,
you
the
know what it
Cardinals
is.
did it too.
It's kind of like because I think the Daniel Jones situation is a good example as well because you have a quarterback that you've kind of now won some stuff because Tua he made a couple of Pro Bowls. They made the playoffs. They didn't win a playoff game, right? They made it a
With
couple of times.
Wait, with who?
No, the Dolphins. The
Oh, the
Dolphins.
Dolphins. The Dolphins have not won a playoff
Yeah.
game in 25 years.
Oh yeah, wait, they have the biggest drought. Yeah. What am I
Yep,
talking about? Yeah. No,
2000.
but they made it twice in a row, right? They made it 2 years
Yes.
in a row.
Yes.
Tua made two. So, you
Tua
don't
didn't play the first
have.
one. Tua didn't play the first one.
Oh yeah, it was Matt Moore. It was Matt
No,
Moore,
no, it
right?
was no. Matt Moore's been out of the league for like a decade. They lost to Buffalo, and it was close. Well, I think it was Skylar Thompson was the quarterback.
Oh, I was thinking of when the Dolphins made it with Matt Moore against the Steelers.
Tannehill was hurt. That was,
Yeah,
they still had
that was a
Tannehill.
while ago. Yeah, but you're in a situation where it's like, okay, our quarterback made a couple of Pro Bowls. No one's really on the market anyways. We have a draft pick in the mid-20s. You gotta run it back, and that's what happened with the Giants and Daniel Jones. It wasn't a good. I mean, Lamar was on the market, but everyone knew he was going to go back.
Not
Everyone knew he was
everybody.
going to go back to Baltimore.
Not everybody, but
I knew he was going to come back.
I did too.
Um, So sometimes things like that happen, and when you have, because this was a weak free agency class, I think everyone agrees. Malik Willis was kind of like
Trey
the
Hendrickson,
kind
Alec
of
Pierce.
premier.
You had some good players.
I mean, okay, Alec Pierce is
Gainwell,
good, but
Mike Evans.
did Alec Pierce deserve $100 million?
I mean, I don't think
Like
any
he
free
got,
agent. I don't know if any free agent deserves what they get. If you try to pay every free agent at market value, you're never going to get anybody. You have to
you're
overpay
not
to
gonna
get some of
get.
these players. Alec
No,
Pierce
but
probably
yeah,
wasn't
that's
worth the
what
money he got, but he's a damn good player. And if he's
he's a good
productive, it doesn't
player.
matter.
But that's what I mean with the Malik Willis thing, because it's like, okay, you need a quarterback, can't really draft one. This is our situation now. Malik Willis, here's money.
I don't get why
It just
teams
kind of
give.
happens.
The main problem is Miami did it, Arizona did it, maybe Jacksonville did it. Trevor Lawrence is still kind of, I guess he had a good year, but you give
He had a
a
good year.
so-so quarterback, to a lesser extent, Dak. Dak's obviously better than Tua and Kyler Murray, and he's better than Trevor too. But they get all this money. I'm like, why? The only quarterbacks I would confidently, with no question, pay top dollar: Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, Burrow, probably maybe Justin Herbert, but that's still kind of up in the air. Maybe Daniels, but I need to see a little more. Maybe Drake May, I need to see a little more. There's only 4 quarterbacks where no questions asked. Name your price. You are the franchise.
Wait, did you say Stafford?
Well, he's like 38 years old.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, but I think he's
Stafford's
still got
obviously
some years in the tank.
the Rams. I think right now, if you ran these rosters into next season, the Rams would win the Super Bowl. Adding McDuffie to their secondary
Yeah,
is massive.
Rams are my one right now, or my top
Obviously, the draft.
power
It's dependent
rankings.
on the draft too.
Yeah, and they've got a good pick. Yeah, so we'll see what they do with that, if they keep it or not. But yeah,
But for the first
that's
time
all I
this
have to say
year,
about that.
for the first time, okay, Forrest Gump. For the first time this year, we're going to talk uniforms because the Tennessee Titans, I'm sure y'all saw,
Yeah.
rebranded not too long ago. They were kind of teasing that the Oilers would be retired. Like they said they weren't going to run the Oilers uniforms in 2025, and Warren Moon said in an interview that he basically went, with what the new uniforms are, the old ones are probably never coming back, and for good reason, because they look like this. This is Tennessee's new branding. We have a new logo, new uniforms. I don't know if you want to give your thoughts first, but it's mostly just a nod to the Oilers. I don't.
And
You're
the
doing too
old
much.
uniform, and also embrace.
You're
I
doing
think
too
it's
much. I guess you're Music City.
it has like, it's not like the worst logo in the league. Like
That's the
I think
Rams.
the Cowboys logo is worse. I think the
Okay.
Commanders logo is worse. I think the Eagles logo is worse. But it's not like putrid. Like I don't like, some people hate, but with some like star symbols, you know?
I read an excerpt from an article that said one fixture of the Titans rebrand is moving away from the Greek mythology theme. And I
Yeah.
read that, and I went, "Do y'all not know what a Titan is? What is a Titan? Let's do some research here. Let's do some investigative journalism.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna press the button. What is a Titan?
The
A person or thing of colossal size, strength, influence, originating from Greek mythology. Originating from what?
Yeah.
What do they originate from? You want to move away from the Greek mythology, but you're the Titans? That's what Titans are. They are Greek. So
Yeah.
that was outrageous. But as for the branding, I love the uniforms. The Houston Oilers look is probably for me a top 3 uniform of all time, with that
Yeah, I like it.
That logo is so sick, and I love that shade of blue with the red. So I'm a big fan of the uniforms. I don't like the guitar strings. I think you're doing too much, but it's because I don't think it looks that good. These stripes, but the uniforms are great. I do not like the logo. They don't want it to look like a sword. Like it's not pointed like a sword. It's like how do I describe
It's
it?
like a T. It's
It's
like a
like
T.
well, it was a T before, but it's not pointed
It's
anymore.
just like no, but it just looks like a reg.
It the T looks like a car. Like I feel like I would see that T on the back of a car. It yeah, I mean, I guess the old logo looked more like I need to look up. I need to look at the Tesla logo again. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
There was like six of them charging at the gas station the other day when I went to go get gas. Um, Tesla logo. I guess the old one looks more like the Tesla logo than the new one, but still, that strikes me as something I would see in a car. But great 1 to 10, grade the rebrand.
7.
I'll give it an 8 because it's so much better than the old one. Their old uniforms were so bad. Like I'm
That's
sorry.
fair.
It's
That's
it's
fair.
it's a
Just the
massive. It's the low. If the logo is better, it'd be a 10 out of 10 because
it's
the uniforms are
it's a
great.
7. Yeah, it's a 7 for me because I feel like the logo looks incomplete, and I feel like that brings down the helmet a lot.
I would also loved a red alternate or a navy alternate. You can to keep the.
Hmm.
I want them to bring back the uniforms they wore when they had McNair. Not permanent, but as like a throwback because I like those
An
a lot.
alternate.
I don't like
They're
the
better
Titans
than the
obviously,
current
but
ones.
yeah, I don't like the Titans. But wait, the current ones you mean what they just got rid of?
Yeah, I don't like those ones, and I didn't like the ones that they had when Vrabel first went there.
Yeah, the
Those ones were
uniform. Yeah,
putrid.
the ones like with the gray sleeves.
Yeah,
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 those are
those were
awful.
awful.
That's why I give it an 8
Yeah,
because it's so much better.
it
So
is so
on
much
the on
better.
the
Yeah,
list of teams that had terrible uniforms, you can scratch one of them off. So who's left? You have the
yeah.
Falcons, but they're rebranding. Hopefully they get
They're
it
gonna look
right.
cool. They're gonna go back to their '70s look, I think.
I hope it's red. I hope it doesn't look too much like the throwback, so they keep wearing it.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
I I'm
Like
s- yeah,
The Oilers throwbacks are probably just retired now. They're probably never, unless
yeah,
they rebrand again in the future and go back to Navy.
yeah.
So
I still they're not the worst uniforms, but I do really want the Giants to go back to like their kind of older looking style, like the color
just
rush
the
style.
blue
Like
is better.
it's not
It's the blue.
yeah, it's not like it's not awful. It's just very like bland at this point. Like I don't know. I think it looks their uniforms are a little dated. I think they have to pull a 49ers. I don't like the Rams uniforms. We talk about this more than we realize. I think
I
I
was gonna
don't
say
care for those uniforms. I
they're
don't like the
awful.
Cardinals uniforms. I don't
They
like
went
the
from
Cardinals uniforms.
well, what I was saying
There's just
was, I was thinking about teams that have horrible uniforms, and we can scratch the Titans off. Rams for sure. I hate their
Rams.
uniforms so much because the
Yeah,
color
I don't
scheme is
like
so
them.
nice. I love the royal blue and yellow, and
Yeah,
what they wore in 2019 was great. Like their 70s look, that was fantastic. That royal blue and the
yeah,
yellow, and they look like Best Buy employees all of a sudden. So those are
yeah,
awful. The Commanders are awful, but apparently they're rebranding. They're just gonna they're throwbacks. They'll just do that, but for the whole set, I guess,
yeah.
to keep the W
That'll
logo.
look
But
good.
it'll be
That'll
yeah, it'll
look
be fine.
better.
It'll be solid. But once the rebrands are out of the way, I want to say the Rams are getting like a slight modification, but they're not like completely overhauling it. So I think the Rams are going
Hmm.
to be the only team left that has really horrific uniforms.
They're bad. Yeah.
Cause like I mean, New Orleans isn't that good anymore because Nike doesn't know how to make gold. It's sand, and
I still don't hate it. Like I don't
it's not
like
bad.
everyone
I mean, it's
hates
not
their
terrible.
uniforms.
It's not
I
terrible.
think they're fine.
They're not horrible because it's black and that what's supposed to be gold. It was better when it was like 2010 and it was actual
Yeah.
gold, but it's still not horrible. Like I don't know what's another weak link. Like the I'm not that into the Dolphins. In my mind, I know their color
Yeah.
it's aqua and it's supposed to be a shade of blue. I've always viewed that as green. I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm
that's
in the.
another team. That's another team that should slightly modernize their '80s look. It just do it. It'll just look better. to
And then
me.
Jacksonville. Just go back to the
Yeah,
Prowler. Just
I've
go
been
back to the old ones. I'm sorry.
yeah
Go back
yeah.
to the old
I
ones.
don't love the Texans uniforms.
I don't like those either. No, that
Yeah,
the one they
they're not
wear,
great.
the one they
I
have
hate the
with
one where it's like an H. I think it's like
those.
it's like their
Yes,
alternatives. Those are
that
awful.
uniform is awful. I like the red helmet though with the horn. That's pretty cool.
There's the Texans are one of those teams where I'm like, oh yeah, people are fans of this team. Like I
And that's the
don't.
Cardinals. That's the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals. Yeah,
The
that's
Texans are.
they're in
At least
that
they were.
tier.
The Texans were
I feel like
cool when Stroud was good, but now Stroud stinks. So maybe not.
yeah,
But
I feel like the
they're a
Bengals
consistent.
kind of.
The
I feel like the
Bengals
Bengals
uniforms
kind of
are.
fall into that.
Yeah, the
No, I
Bengals
meant like
uniforms
the
are
fan
badass.
base wise.
Yeah, they have fans.
Fan base wise.
They can be very loud and annoying depending on how good the team is. But you
I
know
just think they're
they're
miserable. They just hate their owners. They have some of the worst owners.
they take it out on other people. I'll never forget when the Shamar
You know
Stewart
more
holdout
about
was
this
going
than
on.
me.
I'll never forget when the Shamar Stewart holdout was going on, and there was a Bengals fan who went on Twitter and went, "Well, you know, Shamar's a Chiefs fan, so," and and it was this long tweet. Yes, Shamar's a Chiefs fan, so that's why he held out of a contract. But anyway, that kind of ridiculous take and kind of pivot into the last thing we're going to talk about today. This is going to be a shorter episode. When it's draft season, when that starts to ramp up, maybe we'll do like a full episode mock draft. But there's one more thing I want to talk about
Yeah.
because this happened just today, I think. So, for those who don't know who Emmanuel Acho is, and if you don't know who he is, I wouldn't blame you. He was a player in the National Football League for like 1 year. I'm going to pull up his career stats because whenever he is being discussed, they are brought up. He had a very short career. He has. How many tackles do his name? He has
67.
He has 33 combined tackles in his career, 22 solo tackles. He was a linebacker around for 2 years, and now he's a talking head. He was on Fox Sports on a show called Speak, but that show got kicked off the air because no one was watching it, and it was horrible TV. So now he has his, independent show with, I think it's LaShawn McCoy and TJ Hushmanzada, I think is.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
It's that guy.
So,
I don't like that guy. He annoys me.
So, there
Yeah.
was a little scuffle between.
Wait, is he before you? Was he? Have you seen the clip of Ryan Clark and that other guy going back and forth? This is the guy you're talking about. He has the dreads.
No, that's
He has the
Brandon Marshall.
dreadlocks.
That's Brandon Marshall. I think I know
No,
what
it's
you're
no,
talking
no, no,
about.
no, no, not Brand. It's not Brandon. It's
Acho doesn't have
it's
dreads.
the other. Okay, then it's How do you spell his name? Hold on, I'm hitting the Google really quick.
Emmanuel Acho.
Acho. Oh yeah, this guy. Okay, I was thinking of a different guy, but yeah, this guy's takes are very not good.
That is the guy
I've
when the
seen him
Browns
before.
hired Munkin. The Browns hired Munkin, and Emmanuel Acho said, you know, if I'm Shedeur Sanders, I'm looking at Todd Munkin. I'm saying, why should I listen to you? What have you wanted? What have you wanted this league? And I'm sitting there going, okay. This is what my mom said, actually, so I'll give her credit. She said, imagine if you are a running back. You're trying to be a running back. And Barry Sanders walks up to you and says, hey, I'm going to teach you the ropes, okay? I like your skill set. I'm going to teach you how to cut. I'm going to teach you how to run. I'm going to teach you, like, your fitness. And I'm going to teach you to be the best running back you can be. And you looked at Barry Sanders and said, what do you know? You haven't won anything. You didn't win anything. One playoff win, Barry. I mean... But that's not why we're talking about this. That's not why we're talking about this. That's obviously one of the worst takes. That isn't the Mount Rushmore of bad takes. Like, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Why would you listen to your coach who's been in football for 25 years? Okay, so Leonard Fournette. Obviously, we know who Leonard Fournette is. Shout out Lombardi Lenny. Went to LSU. There is someone funny little side story. I work at the cafeteria where the Virginia Tech athletes eat, and there's a football player who thinks that. They found out that, fun story, I went to Derrick Henry's high school, Yulee High School, so it's kind of cool whenever they show him in high school, they show his stats or whatever, and I'm like, I went there, I graduated from there. But, like, someone thought that Leonard Fournette was better than Derrick Henry, like, in college, but that was the whole thing. But shout out Leonard Fournette.
He was awesome in college. But...
Yeah, Fournette was a beast. I mean, I have nothing against him. So Fournette was kind of having the conversation of new NFL analysts. More and more are former players, right? It used in the beginning phases of like debate talk, and it was first and 10 before it became first take with Stephen A and Skip. For a while it was the journalists and the writers, and then it started to shift more and more towards athletes. Now whenever you turn on a talk show about sports, more often than not, almost every time there's going to be a former player. Like they had J.R. Smith on First Take. I have nothing against J.R. Smith. I have no interest in his opinion. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like J.R. Smith
Honestly,
J.R. Smith was a fine player, but I have no interest.
Amon Shumpert makes some good points. I've seen him speak. He's not. He knows what he knows his stuff.
Are you being serious, or did he say something dumb and you thought it
Yeah.
was funny?
No, he's a knowledgeable guy. I don't. Yeah.
But anyway, let's see. What did okay? This started with I think Acho. Did Acho start this? I don't know enough about him to know his name. To my knowledge, they don't have any. Okay, I think this is just a bait account. Well, anyway, Leonard Fournette said, out of every NFL analyst they have, he has the weakest resume. What gives you the cojones to even mention us? And I think the point is, so many former athletes are analysts now that so many of them are judged based on their resume, where you are more or less qualified to talk about something if you are more or less of an athlete, which I don't necessarily agree with. You don't have to have been a superstar to have good takes. You could be a superstar and be a bad analyst. Marcus Spears, for example, I don't know if you know who he is. He played for the Cowboys.
I've heard the name.
He was so-so as a player. He wasn't bad, but he was a fine player, but he wasn't a superstar. He's a great analyst. And then you have
Yeah.
people, and then you have trying to think of an example. And sometimes we'll have a superstar say something ridiculous, but that kind of depends on the sport. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is what Acho had to say, because I want to just make fun of what Acho said for a minute.
Who'd he play for?
The Eagles.
Oh God.
Acho said, and I quote, "Let's not talk about NFL careers because if we're being honest, top 5 pick, we both had disappointing ones. There's a reason you're holding a mic now, so let's talk about your take." Let that marinate for a second? Let me read it again. Let's let that marinate for a second. Let's not talk about NFL careers because if we're being honest, we both had disappointing ones. I find that very funny. Leonard Fournette, for all the talk about it being disappointing, he had a very solid career, all things considered. 6,700 yards
he won
total.
a Super Bowl.
41 touchdowns. He averaged 95 yards and a touchdown in 9 playoff games. 135 yards and a touchdown, and won a Super Bowl. I know he was a top 5 pick and he was supposed to be a Hall of Famer. That's a good career, all things considered. Emmanuel Acho had 33.
Better than me.
Acho had 33 tackles in 20 career games. So, you had a disappointing career too. Okay, like I don't know. I don't understand why you have. How do I word this properly? Because again, there's so many former players.
I think disappointing is different than underwhelming. I would call Leonard Fournette's career underwhelming because he was still like a solid player. Like if you were like, "Do you want Leonard Fournette on your team?" You'd be like, "Yeah, I'll take Leonard Fournette."
Fournette was nice.
Everybody would. Yeah. He
Horrible.
wasn't. Yeah.
Horrible offensive play calling in Jacksonville too. A lot of his play calls were just runs up the middle. He had no room to breathe. I'm sitting there like, can you throw him a screen or give him a toss? Especially in the few years after they made the conference championship. But I just wanted to make fun of Emmanuel Acho because that's always funny. I really wish we were doing this when he gave the take about Todd Monken because that would have been great TV. He said, "What do you know, Todd Monken, national championship winning coordinator? What do you know about football?" Listen to me, the 5th round pick, who has more interceptions than touchdowns in my career. At least I think he does. Of course, Shadur didn't say that, but Shadur discourse has approached Caitlin Clark discourse of toxicity, and I don't look forward to the inevitable point in time when we have to talk about it. I guess we've already talked about it when he made the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowler Shadur Sanders.
Yeah. I
With a
mean,
what?
considering the Bengals had two quarterbacks in the Pro Bowl at the same time, I think that goes to show how serious we should take that game.
Well, look,
Apart from Shador.
a wise man once said, that's all we have to talk about. By the way, like we said, this is going to be a shorter episode, so we'll leave you with this.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you with this. It's not healthy to be upset about something that you know is broken in the first place. Why be upset that the food at Golden Corral is terrible? It's Golden Corral. Of course it's horrible, right? Why are you
They say
upset
it's good in
that
the commercials.
well,
I hate
don't
buffets. Buffets are vile.
why are you yeah, I know. I once
Disgusting.
I hope you're not eating food while you're watching this, but I've never thrown up more than when I went there once when I was like 9 years old. I threw up in the
Yeah.
sink and I filled it. It was filled to the brim with
That's
my
crazy.
with whatever was inside of me, whatever I had that day. But
Hmm.
it's not healthy to be mad over the college football polls. We know they're stupid. It's like when Florida lost to South Florida, someone moved them up after they lost to unranked South Florida at home, and it's not and what were we even at? I had all this stuff ready, and I don't even remember what I was gonna end it with.
Platinum
It's not
Kaizo.
it's not. Oh yeah, it's not healthy to be upset about the Pro Bowl when you know it's stupid in the first place. But you wanted to talk about the new Pokemon Kaizo game that came out, Platinum. Go ahead. No, I forgot about this. You go ahead and get it off.
So none of you know this, but of course, because we're so masculine and tough and handsome and whatever, you wouldn't think of us as Pokemon players, but we love Pokemon, and we're not into like the more casual side. We're pretty serious players.
I played Violet for about 2
Um,
hours. No, 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 no,
I
no, no,
hated
no,
that game.
no. That
We
no.
we play. We're into Nuzlocking. We
That
play
game was a
ROM hacks.
that game was a fuck no.
Showdown. Yeah. Pokemon Showdown's the competitive Pokemon. Me more so than you. I've played a lot more Showdown
Yeah, you're like
than
top
you.
500, aren't you? Or you were?
Yeah, I've probably decayed out of it because I stopped playing Showdown because it was getting too toxic.
You
The
were
team
you were
compositions were getting.
you were top
Yeah. Oh
500
yeah.
in the world in some formats. So
I've been top 500 in Gen 1. It's singles. Gen 1, Gen 2,
Gen
Gen
one.
3, Gen
Okay.
4. Um well those are 4 generations I was top 500. Then I was
Yeah,
top
I mean,
500 in Gen 7 doubles and then Gen 9 doubles.
right.
So I'd like to think I'm good at the game, and I'm
Point is, you're really good.
into. I like Nuzlocking more, but something I can't stand are the Kaizo games. I think that it's like, and I get they're supposed to be as hard as possible. They're just not fun. Like I really tried to get into Emerald Kaizo, and I was doing everything. But then after like Gym 1, you have to start using this thing called PK hex,
Yeah.
which is like
So I
so
look
you
at the
could have
stats.
like your to look at the stats, but you can also like status your Pokemon. You could put their HP at a certain thing. So when it was getting to the point where it's like, okay, I need a Gyarados and put it to 1 HP so I could use Flail on this one specific trainer and kill them after an like it's like, okay, guys, come on. But Platinum Kaizo seems like it's reached another level of stupid because every single galactic fight is now a double battle, but it's like the double battle with the AI. Like if you play regular Platinum, you remember the fight in the forest where you're with that lady with the Chansey,
Yes.
and then you're with Barry against Saturn and Jupiter. I think
I
that
didn't
was
know
them.
this.
Yeah, it's so I'm pretty sure every required galactic fight is going to be like that weird double battle, and it's just like why?
Are you with somebody?
Yeah, you're with an AI, you're with an NPC.
Oh, every single. I knew they were all double battles, and I already don't like double battle. You can't control. So all of them are going to be with an AI partner.
It's going to be with like Barry.
I'm out. Bye.
Yeah,
I'm out. No
but like kind
thanks.
of
Miss me.
some. Here's the
Oh my
thing.
god.
something I actually like about Emerald Kaizo is that you could still get all of the regular items in Emerald, but like they restrict you from like you can't buy like vitamins, you can't buy other items, but like you'll get the mystic water from the cast form, or you could get the silk scarf in Dewford. And I think it's cool. Like my favorite example of using thing like the vanilla options in the ROM hack. My favorite example in Emerald Kaizo is so Glalie has Intimidate, right?
Mm-hmm.
In in Emerald, there's one white herb in the game. You
Yes.
save that you save that one white herb for either um one-shotting Maxi's Tyranitar because Tyranitar has Intimidate, or using it on Relicanth against Glacia to get rid of the Intimidate, and then you could kill 3 Pokemon in a row with Head Smash. You kill the Glalie, you kill the Regice, and you kill one other thing. I forgot what it was. Um,
Was it
like I think
Whiscash?
that's cool.
No. Walrein?
No, it might be Walrein because it's an ice type.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know why I
Um,
said Whiscash. That's got it mixed
yeah,
up.
she has a Swampert, so she does have a water ground type.
Okay. Yeah.
It's in the rain. That's why I use Relicanth because it has Swift Swim and a
Right.
rock and uh. But with like Platinum Kaizo, I don't think you really have those options. Like, uh, what's it called? Hazards are now priority moves, but
That is awful.
you don't get hazards though. Like you had ways to get something I don't like. You had ways to get Stealth Rock in Platinum. You had ways
It
to
was a
get spikes
it was a TM.
in yeah, it was a TM you got from beating Rourke.
What do you get now?
Um I don't know, but you probably get like
Rock throw. Like okay.
Rock Tomb or probably
Oh
Rock
yeah.
Tomb or
Rock
something.
tomb. Yeah.
Um or like Geodude. I think Geodude actually learns it via level up. But now they've taken all of these kind of things out of the game, and it's like, okay, so hazards are priority now. And I don't think there's removal. I think they got rid of like rapid spin
I don't think
and
Rabbits did
everything.
Rabbitsman do that in Gen 4?
Yeah. Remove
Wow.
hazards?
I thought that wasn't until Gen
Yeah.
5. I'm thinking of something else.
No, that's been a thing for since Gen 2. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
The one Gen 2 spike. And in Gen 2 the only hazard was the one spike.
Oh.
But you're gonna love that one spike. You need that one spike
Break that
in
focus sash.
competitive.
Focus
There's no
sash is
focus sashes
oh,
in
whatever. Whatever.
Gen
Let me
4.
joke. Let
But
my bit land.
but but anyway, I just think that's stupid. Like one of the coolest Pokemon you could use in Emerald Kaizo was Fortress because it gets spikes and it gets Drill Run. So you could use it against all these steel and rock types, and you could just kind of like pound away at them because you have huge defense and you can set up spikes for your team. But like now that's not an option in Platinum Kaizo. So you have this ridiculous game where okay, I don't get hazards, I can't get rid of hazards. Every evil team is like a double battle with Barry. What's fun
Barry.
about that? There's
Freaking
nothing
Barry.
fun. There's
Freaking
no, I might
Barry.
be
Oh
wrong.
my god.
There I don't think it's against the grunts. I think it's the
Like
like
the
name
admins?
the leader fights. Yeah, the
Yeah.
admins,
Whatever their
which
names
is
are.
ridiculous. Yeah, all named after planets. Yeah.
Oh, how creative. What really bugs me about the Kaizo games in general, I really don't like it when in games certain elements and maybe niche elements, and especially not guaranteed elements, are required. Like in Emerald Kaizo, if you don't get a lantern with Volt Absorb, Watson is virtually impossible, and it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like the odds are in your favor that you'll get one because I think you get like 3 tries. So the odds that you'll get one are pretty solid, but it's not 100%. and
Yeah.
you could be smoking the game. You could have everything go right, and then you just don't get a Volt Absorb Lantern. You just have to reset. And
Yeah.
then for the Elite
It's
Four, a Dusclops is 100. You want don't you 100% have to have a Dusclops
you lose without Dusclops.
and
You
Slowbro?
need Dusclops. You can technically do it without Slowbro. You need a good Milotic, but the reason Slowbro is preferred is
Because you
because
can
you
heal and
you
shell armor.
resist fighting and it has shell armor. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you can't get crit. So Milo could get crit. So that's the big one. But you need yeah, you basically need a Dusclops and a Slowbro.
and I guess
And if
Salamence is
you don't,
guaranteed, but a good one is not guaranteed. Like you could just get a crappy one.
you get an awful Mence and be screwed. Yeah. And a lot of
What's
people
the
don't catch that Bagon because you can't really hurt it because you catch it in Mirage Tower. It's a guaranteed encounter. So you have to keep just chucking Ultra Balls at this full health Bagon, which already has a low catch rate. And it's like level 8 and it could struggle to death. Like,
false
and you
swipe's not in the
need
game yet?
I don't know actually, but if you don't have it, like I've seen videos of that Bagon struggling to death and people are like, ah,
Just reset. Like
because
that's why I don't like this game.
that's the mid
Run and
game
bun is
though.
better.
That's
What makes run and bun I feel like better is that there's so much to choose from. Like you have more options
so much variety. You have a lot
and
of
I guess
variety.
there are certain aspects you kind of need, but like don't you need an Urshifu? But that's guaranteed. It's given to you, isn't it? If I'm
It's
not mistaken.
guaranteed, but you don't. But you know, kind of the beauty of some of these ROM hacks, these super hard ones, is that like the Nuzlocke community has grown. Like I think we got into the Nuzlocke community before it like really blew up.
Yes.
Like
Oh, we were doing soul
the
links
beauty
before it was
is
cool.
yeah, we were doing like fire red randomizer soul links.
If only
Like I
y'all were
still have like
there.
I still have picture like screenshots of all of our teams where
If
it's
only
like
if only y'all were there
a
when the
fur.
when the when the bear tick tanked the and landed the sheer
Oh, that
cold on
was
guaranteed at the
epic.
Elite Four. That
I
was so
wish we were
fire.
recording that.
That would have been
I wish we
brilliant
were
content.
recording that.
We'll have to do a soul
That
link on
was
your
crazy.
channel. We'll do a soul link on your channel one day.
We could figure something
Yeah.
out. But what was I saying? Something that's kind of cool about the community getting bigger is that there's like metas now.
Yeah.
But like what's the like I'm just kind of curious what the meta for Platinum Kaizo is going to be because of all of these inconveniences. Like at least in Emerald Kaizo um like you had like ways of like you can manipulate encounters pretty easily and there's all this other kind of and it's also maybe Platinum Kaizo will get that eventually because it just came out. I don't think anyone's beaten it yet.
Well, it just came
um
out like last week, right?
yeah, within the past week, but I don't know, to me it just seems like the double battle thing and the hazards thing is going to make this game like unplayable. Like the guy that made um that makes the Kaizo games had to come out with an updated version of Crystal Kaizo because Crystal, the original one, was so bad. Like it was almost unbeatable. So
Couldn't
he
they
had to
heal?
literally
Like
make
they could heal infinitely. Their levels exceeded 100, and they would like know what move you're doing and do and
yeah.
click their move based on what you did.
It was just stall. It was just stall. Like I remember watching Yan Pokemon challenges.
Shout out.
Um yeah, shout out. Uh
Shout out to our
I
small
remember
creators.
his I remember his Crystal Kaizo finale from like 2018, 2017, or like around that range before he was like really big. And I remember his he had like such a weird team. He had like a Shuckle up against a Tyranitar because Shuckle learned Toxic and Recover or something by level up. So Shuckle was just meta because it had like
It could stall.
that's how messed up that game was. So these games suck. Like they're not fun. Like these Kaizo games, they're not fun ROM hacks. Like I just beat Fire Red Omega today. I lost. I had like 12 deaths, and I scraped together a 10. I had some good Pokemon, but I was still able to build a team despite losing some important guys, and I won.
That game was
You know?
also just more forgiving than some of the other Triana ones.
Yeah. Or
Like Renegade Platinum's fairly forgiving, at least
but
relatively, because you
it's
get. It's still hard.
but they're more. But what I'm saying is they're more fun than these. Like this, sure they're easier. They're more fun.
I like
Like you could
hard
do
games.
more.
My favorite kind of games, because obviously I play ROM hacks more. I haven't played a main series game to completion since the original Sun and Moon, which came out in like, I think November of 2016. I think was when that game came out. I've heard Ultra
Well,
Sun and Moon is
we've done our Nuzlocks, our Soul Links.
right. Well, I'm saying main series, just vanilla game, just
Oh
plain
no, you're not
old
counting a randomizer. You're not
right.
counting a
Just
randomizer.
plain old game
Oh,
for the
okay.
fun of it. On the
Yeah.
console was the original Sun and Moon, like 10 years, like damn near 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I've heard Ultra Sun and Moon are good and challenging. I never got around to playing it. I've I never played Sword and Shield, so I can't confident. I've heard not great things about it.
You're
And
okay. It's okay.
I Scarlet and Violet was so. I do
It
want
was
to get this
putrid.
off. I know Scarlet and Violet is old news, but I do want to get this off. There are when it comes to gaming. Let me put it this way: I can tolerate mistakes. I understand almost no game is going to be perfect. The Ghost games are basically perfect, but maybe not down to the letter. So I understand developers are going to make mistakes, and you're human. You're going to get something wrong. But sometimes there's a problem that's so short-sighted it makes me mad, and I feel insulted that they thought that the product that they had was complete. So because Scarlet and Violet are open world, which I think is a stupid idea. I always hear
I hate
people
it.
I always hear people say, "Oh, the next Pokemon getting open world." No, 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 no. Gen
Yeah.
2 was kind of sorta open world at one point, and it's one of the
Yeah.
worst parts of the game.
And
So
it sucks ass. That game
the
sucks.
this is the problem. Well, the original ones do. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are better, but I am very
A little
anti
better.
Gen 2. I am very anti Gen 2. But anyway, or anti Johto. But here's the thing: if you want a game like this to be open world, you have to scale the levels. If I go to the northwestern part of the world and take on whatever gym is in the northwestern part of the world, then
Yeah.
with my level 12 team, I need to go up against that around that area, maybe a couple levels higher. I can take a challenge, but they don't scale the levels. I had a
Yeah.
team. I think when I stopped, my team was like in the high 20s, and I was in the bike on the bike in the desert, and I run into like a freaking Firo that's like level 54, just in the desert.
And you can't run from it
I
because
think
it's
I got to
faster
run
than
a
you and higher.
yeah. I
Oh,
think I
did
had a
you?
doll. I had the doll or whatever, and I'd
Oh,
used it
you
and
had the
got out of there.
Pokedoll, the
Yeah, so
Clefairy.
and they
Yeah.
don't scale the levels, and they don't tell you where is like the ideal place to go. So my ass is playing this game. I have to pull out my phone and look up a guide for where I need to go next because the levels don't scale, and the game doesn't tell me where to
Yeah.
go. It doesn't tell you where is apt for your level. It doesn't give you like an order. So
Yeah.
you just run around and guess. Hopefully this gym you pull up to doesn't have guys in the 40s while your sorry ass team's level
Yeah.
15. So and again, I can tolerate mistakes, but like, do they think? Do they? I'm sitting there playing this game. I'm like, do they think I'm stupid?
Yeah.
Do they think?
So I have some. I Yeah. Speaking of this, I have some homework for you in
Okay,
terms of Poke. So you should definitely play because I beat it. I nuzlocked it the other day. You should definitely play Emerald Sea Glass. It's a
you told
really
me about
cool
that. Yeah.
game. You should play that game. You would like that game. It's a cool game. It has the Gen 2 aesthetic, but it's a Gen 3 game. It's an Emerald with a physical special split and fairy type, and lots of cool encounters. And the teams are like the gym battles are like slightly harder and more unique to where it's like you got to build your team properly, but it's still very beatable and it's a good experience and you could use a lot of Pokemon you like. But a great example, and you would like these games. I loved both of them. Have you heard of Smith Plays Pokemon? He's this Canadian. He's a Canadian guy.
I've heard the name, but I never
He's a
watched them.
Yeah. So he has a bunch of ROM hacks His two best ones are Crystal Legacy and Emerald Legacy. And his Crystal Legacy, especially. So, first of all, it makes all the Johto Pokemon available in Johto,
That's a miracle.
which is great. And improves all the teams. The teams are much more fun, and the rival battles are a lot cooler, too.
I never took this out
But
of my head.
he has a level scaling system. So you could do Price, Chuck, and what's her name? Jasmine? Is that the
Yeah.
steel type? Yeah.
Yes, steel type.
You could do them in any order and it'll be level scaled.
Yeah,
It's
which
so
is
much
fine.
better.
If the levels
So
are
it's like,
scaled, hold on. If they scale the levels in open world game, it's fine. Like, or
yeah.
maybe not fine,
So
but I can live with it.
No, but so I'm just saying that like that's what Gen 2 should have been, or just what Pokemon should be. And it's just not. Like, there's no reason these free fan games should be light years better than the real games.
The
And they just
ultimate
are.
reality is the ultimate and kind of unfortunate reality is the Pokemon player base is older than Game Freak thinks it is. I saw a joke once where it said it was Call of Duty and Pokemon, and it said the intended
Yeah, I've
audience of
seen
Call of
this.
Duty. Yeah, and the Call of Duty is an adult and Pokemon's a child, but then the actual audience is flipped. So, like,
Reversed, yeah.
I think the average Pokemon demographic is more our age, like college, a little older, or the people
A
because
lot
it
of
requires a
them.
lot of yeah. So, but they keep making the games
All
cater towards
my
kids. I've
all
kind
my
of
male all my male friends love Pokemon.
yeah, and
Every
I'm at the
dude our
point.
age likes Pokemon.
I'm kind of at the point where at the same in the same mold as Madden, I've kind of given up on them making another great game. I don't think they've made. I've heard good things about Ultra Sun and Moon. I have not played a great vanilla game since Black and White 2, which are my favorite games in the franchise.
Those are the
But
best ones.
which
Yeah.
might be bold. People
Those are
like
mine too.
Platinum. People like Platinum, even though it's slow as shit. And people love Heart Gold Soul Silver, even though it's slow and there's a million things wrong with it. I think Black and White 2,
The mid
they've
game.
got it.
Yeah,
You, you,
they
you,
did nail it.
you mean you don't like fighting level 20 Rattatas for 20 minutes? Oh my. Or coughings or
Yeah.
whatever it is. But my point is, I've kind of just given up hope that they can make like another really good game. So it's up to the fan
Yeah,
games.
I
Like,
don't think
because that
fan
doesn't
games are
apply to
better.
all games I play. 2K is kind of up and down. 2K this year is pretty good, and I play it a lot with the boys. I got a
Yeah.
99 shooting guard. I'm good for 16 points a game on
Yeah.
about 59% shooting, but just same thing as Madden. I don't see them. What's the next game? It's like Winds and Waves or something.
Yeah, that looks cool. Those ones look better.
I don't see it. I don't see them recapturing. Forget the high standards of Black and White 2, even Black and White 1, which I think are pretty good games too.
That was a good game.
I think their
Still
peak
not
has
perfect.
their peak came and went like a whenever Black and White 2 came out like 15 years ago.
Yeah. Um, when in doubt, break out Red Dead Redemption. It never misses.
I
You didn't
liked
like it?
but I never played the first one. I know I probably need to. I played a good amount of the
First
second
one's
one.
fun.
I played a good amount of the second one, and I know how the story goes. And I think the story is great. I kind of lost interest. I don't know. It wasn't that.
Really?
I remember one of the last things I remember from the game was I got I played like a game with some dude. Like I shot bottles. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He had his glass.
Yeah, mini games.
I
Yeah.
accidentally, when I went to leave, I accidentally got on his horse, and then he started attacking me, and he wouldn't let me go. I tried to get on my horse and run away. He just wouldn't let me go, so I had to kill him, and then I was wanted. I was like, bitch, he shot me first.
That's
He
funny.
came for my neck first, and I act in self defense, and now they want me behind bars, man. The Wild West. It was awful, but
Wild West.
I don't know. The game is good, but I don't know. I felt like the movement was kind of janky from my memory.
Really?
It's been a long time.
I mean, you were like 15 when that game came out.
Yes.
So maybe
And I played it like
as a child.
I got
yeah.
it for Christmas. I got it that Christmas, like when the game came out. So,
Okay, yeah.
I remember
Maybe
I remember we used to do a thing where I could pick. I think a lot of people do this, where I can get one gift on Christmas Eve. And I said,
some people do that, yeah.
and I said to my parents, I said, if you got me a video game, give me that so I could download it and like have it installed and ready for Christmas. So I got
Yeah.
Red Dead 2 and installed it overnight. played it on Christmas, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a good game. It looks great. The realism is fantastic. You know, you have to shave Arthur's beard or whatever. But I don't know. I liked it, but I wasn't crazy over it.
I'm just saying maybe now that your frontal lobe is more developed,
Okay,
it'll make
smart
more
guy.
sense.
What, I can understand Rick and Morty now because I'm smarter.
Rick and Morty's only for smart people.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
That
That's
show fell off.
yeah, or maybe they were just never that funny, or maybe they were. I never really watched it. I don't know. I just
The
remember.
first 3 seasons are funny.
I
They're
just
really good.
remember. I just remember one of my friends was talking with another friend about how he didn't like it, and then the guy went, "Well, you don't understand it. You're not smart enough." And then I was like, "I'm not watching this shit. Not happening.
It's very,
I don't
it's
care if it's funny."
very, it's very nihilistic.
Yeah, that
It's
doesn't
very
suck.
dark humor.
Which can be
Yeah,
funny, obviously, but I
I think
think
it's fun.
there's
I thought the first 3 seasons were good, and then it just kind of went off the rails. But it is what it
well,
is.
regular shows coming back. That's what really matters. Shout out
I'm
to
so excited,
I.
and it's like gonna be on. It's gonna be on Adult Swim, I think. So it's gonna be like kind of raunchy. I hope.
I do kind of feel bad for J.G. Quintel because he made this great cartoon. He tries to do something else, like more regular show, because he had ended the story. It all wrapped up nice with the bow and everything, all perfect. He's like
Yeah,
more regular show, but I'm excited it's back. So shout out.
yeah, me too.
Uh, oh my god, that show
R.I.P.
was great.
Smiling Friends. I loved Smiling Friends. That
I
was my
never saw it.
favorite.
I never saw it.
I don't
Please
know if
forgive
you'd
me.
like it. It's very. You could watch the whole show in like 2 hours because there's
Jesus.
11-minute episodes, but they're
Uh,
really funny. They're
Regular
really
show is about
funny.
that long too, though.
But it's like I would say Smiling Friends is just unhinged regular show. So if you like regular show, you might actually like Smiling Friends.
Regular show is already kind of unhinged. I don't know about getting even more unhinged than that.
It's more unhinged than regular
Yeah, I
show
don't know about that.
because it's Adult Swim, so they don't have the confines of Cartoon Network age ratings.
Oh yeah, they don't have
So
to
they could
be
just
like
like,
family friendly.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they're not family friendly. It's
Mordecai can
yeah,
say, "You pissed me off." Can say that again.
you piss, and then shoot Rigby.
Or no, he pushes him off like the microwave or something, and he
Yeah,
evaporates.
yeah. Well, no, I was saying like in Smiling Friends, like people die all the time,
Yeah.
just like awful deaths. But
But
yeah,
that'll do it for this episode. Hopefully
I think
next
that
week's
wraps
something
it up.
interesting. Yeah, that'll do it.
Happens.
We went into a we were hoping for an hour long episode, and then you mentioned Platinum Kaiser at like the 55-minute mark, and then we spent 20 minutes rambling. But it's nice to veer away from sports for a little bit. We don't have to be in
Yeah.
exclusively. I thought about going into detail on the controversy with Chaperone, but then I was like,
Oh, I don't know what's happening with
I
that.
was like, her music is not good enough to have this much discourse all the time. It's
Yeah, I
some of
don't
their
like her
like
music.
her security guard went and berated like an 11-year-old girl or something, and it's a whole thing on Twitter. And I'm like, her music is not good enough to
Um,
be having these conversations. We
yeah,
get it. She's an asshole. Like it's who she is. But anyway,
yeah,
that'll do it for the ninth episode. Hopefully, I don't know what could happen next week. I guess we'll have opening day, so maybe something dramatic will
yeah,
happen. Like last year, we had the torpedo bats to talk about for a week, and then everyone stopped talking about it. So maybe we'll
yeah,
have something there. But that wraps up the ninth episode of the show. If y'all are here and you haven't seen my recent video about the Tennessee Titans, about the maybe worst run team in football, go ahead and give that a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. And with that out of the way, that's all I got for you. See ya.